Hey guys, just Static here. Sorry I didn't upload a update video for Cenat yesterday. I was lazy and my god, will this dog shut up? It's like it's on and off, but sorry I didn't upload my video yesterday. Wasn't feeling too good. Truth be told, I was eating goy slop, and when I eat stuff like that, it just makes me feel sick. But we got a video released showing that Cenat got released from, I think, the NYPD jail. And I don't know if it was from TMZ, NBC, so-and-so. I don't care anymore about these news networks or these mainstream media networks. But all that matters is that he got released. In the video, you can see him, I think he's like trying to put up his hoodie, and he has like his security guard try to cover him up. And in the news media and paparazzis and all that are like, Kai, what happened to the PS5s? Did the kids get the PS5? But yeah, that's what happened. I'll show the clip.
Sir, Tim, you want to say to your followers?
What happened to the PlayStations, Kai? What happened?
So when I was explaining in yesterday's video that Cenat got charged with, what was it, unlawful assembly and inciting a riot, I didn't really explain how bad the situation was and what those were. So I'm going to do that in this video. So an unlawful assembly, and I got this from the Cornell Law School, an unlawful assembly is a meeting together of 3 or more persons with the intent to disturb the public peace. To constitute this offense, it must appear that there was a common intent of the persons assembled to attain purpose, whether lawful or unlawful, by commissions of acts of intimidation and disorder likely to produce danger to the peace of the neighborhood, and actually intending to inspire courageous persons with well-grounded fear of serious breaches in public speech. This intent or purpose does not need to exist at the outset, and whoever participates in any riot, rout, unlawful assembly, or fray is guilty of a misdemeanor. And then I looked up what's the misdemeanor for unlawful assembly, and it's a class B misdemeanor. And then I looked up, okay, what is that in as far as sentencing and charges? And if you get hit with a class B misdemeanor in New York, sentencing ranges from no jail time to 90 days in jail. Additionally, there may be fines, 1 year probation, community service, and order of protection. So, and then people are saying he could get 5, and it could be on the New York website, I don't know, but people were saying he could get 5 years or something if charged, which I'm not seeing that here. It just seems like the most likely thing that would happen was he would get fined or at least 90 days in jail or 1 year probation. But if you know what sites they're talking about where it says he could potentially face 5 years, show me it in the comment section. But the next was inciting a riot. Inciting a riot means to organize or promote, encourage, participate in any carry on a riot. So, which means you're just encouraging people to go mess some stuff up, essentially. And I was trying to look up, okay, what is that in New York? And that's a class A misdemeanor. And I looked up, okay, what is that as far as charges? And a class A misdemeanor carries a penalty up to 364 days in jail and a fine to the amount of $1,000, fine or double with defendant gain from the crime. Examples of a class A misdemeanor and stuff like that. Yeah, it just says fine, community service. Like, even when I looked up the New York, okay, here's the New York version, but this is a class A misdemeanor in New York. Sentencing for a class A misdemeanor ranges from no jail to 1-time additional penalties could resolve fines, community service, 3 years probation, and a driver's license suspension. But he doesn't even live in New York, he's just visiting there. So if you guys know what he's talking about, what people are talking about as far as he can potentially face up to 5 to 10 years for this, let me know. But from what it seems like if I'm gonna be real, and I've said this before in my last video, I don't think anything's gonna happen to Cenat. I think the most that will happen is, and I said it again in my last video, but I think he'll just get fined. He'll probably get I don't think it's gonna be a small fine. It'll probably be in the middle, maybe middle or high end fine, but I don't think it's gonna be anything so outrageous it breaks the bank. Again, for me personally, even if I'm rich, who still really wants to pay a fine? You know what I mean? Even if you really got it like that, who really wants to pay a fine? But that's probably what will happen to him. He'll probably just pay a fine. I don't see him doing no 10 years in jail for people's behaviors that he couldn't control. Like I said, the thing I think that really that he is responsible for is this was not organized. I think he didn't, I get his biggest mistake was not realizing that, again, you have this much influence, you have this much power, you have millions of fans, and most of them are, like, again, 30-plus-year-old men are not watching Kai Cenat. And if they are watching Kai Cenat, they're watching him either at home or they're watching him on break when they're at their job. Like, I think this happened on a Friday. The people out there who are doing the rioting either didn't have a job or on summer break. The people that maybe older who watch Kai Cenat are working shifts. They're over there at McDonald's. They're over there at Subway. They're over there working at not McDonald's. I already said McDonald's. Walmart. They're flipping. They're washing plates. Like, older men are just not watching Kai Cenat. They can watch Kai Cenat. I'm not saying he doesn't have me. He might have an audience of older people watching his content, but they're not out there like, oh, Kai Cenat's in New York. Shoot, I gotta take off to work. I gotta go. I gotta go see if I can cop me a free PS5. And now that I say it like that, I think there might have been maybe a couple who said, oh wait, lunch break, I'm going on my lunch break, I gotta go see if I can cop a PS5, a PC, $100 Amazon gift card, and iTunes, whatever, iCard, iTunes, Google Play, I don't know. But yeah, I think the biggest mistake was Kai was not having this plan, but overall I think he'll just get fined. Truth be told, I think the biggest thing Kai might have to worry about in the future is not so much the NYPD or New York, is potential lawsuits coming against him from people who property got destroyed. Because this is why I said I don't think he should be fined either. It's because whatever money he pays is not going to individual people. It's not going to the vendor who got his stuff destroyed and he got hit in the back of his head and back and whatever. It's not going to those people who parked their cars or who are driving through, who teenagers for some reason thought it was a good idea to start stomping on their car and breaking stuff. Like, they're not going to see that money. If they want to see any type of money or try to get their car fixed or whatever, they're going to have to go take it up with their insurance, assuming they have any, right? Like, the money that he pays is going to go to the state. Part of that money is going to go towards the people who helped clean up the area that Union Square where Kai Cenat had the meetup is going to go to the officers who got hurt, and I think they said some patrol cars got destroyed, and that's it. Like, the vendor's not seeing that money. The individual people who got hurt, who got in a fist fight, like they had to go to the hospital, stitches, people who had a panic attack, they're not seeing that money. So I think the biggest thing Kai Cenat and his team will have to worry about in the future is potential lawsuits from kids or people in general who just got hurt or either got their property stolen or broken into. So, because it kind of reminds me of because this did happen, and the difference was, like, this happened with Travis Scott and the Astroworld thing, and I think with that that was like a planned event, but I think, like, didn't people like try to, like, they had barrier and gates, and people broke over the gates and started flooding in because they wanted to go see him. And yeah, I think that happened, right? Like, he had a concert, it was over max, and then people flooded and came in, and even more people came in, and then I think like 8 people died. I can't remember if they said it was an 8-year-old who died or 8 people died in total, but even though that was a planned event and they had security and all that, he still got sued. I think he had to pay some money out to the family of a 24-year-old who died, and potentially other more. But the point is, that may be the biggest thing he may have to worry about in the future, is potential lawsuits from people in New York saying, hey, because you did that unlawful assembly and this was not a planned event, my stuff got broken into and we're going after you. Yeah, that would probably be the biggest thing I'd be worried about if I was Kai. Not so much the NYPD and the police station, it's just like the potential lawsuits that he may be getting towards his way, and maybe AMP itself. That's just a scary thought, but who knows, only time will tell. Let's be real, even if Kai Cenat did get sued, even if he did get sued by other people, like they try to go after Kai for not reparations or some sort of financial financial reparations, whatever. I don't know the correct terms. My brain's fried. But if they go after him, like Kai Cenat and AMP and all these guys, agent and all them, they can afford a good lawyer. And I'm not saying they wouldn't do this, but if they really wanted to, they could stall. Like, they can stall the whole legal process of trying to get sued. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Spencer Cornelia. He's been having an ongoing lawsuit for the past 2-3 years because he made a video about some person who's scamming, and that dude just had a little bit more capital than Spencer Cornelia, and he said it's been a headache. And I'm not saying Kai Cenat would go that far, but you know, depending on how much they're asking, they might sit there and say, hey, sorry, what happened to you? But if you think we're about to lose everything we worked hard for, I mean, that sounds pretentious, like if they were in that mind, because some of those people, Kai Cenat and them, have a lot more than what the average person has. But if they're trying to go after him for big money, they could easily like sit there, and I don't know what's called, but they can sit there and have the trial go be ongoing. Like they could sit there and postpone and just stall them out. I can't remember what the correct legal term for it is when you try to stall someone out in a court case, right? When you're trying to sue them. But they could do that, and if that person doesn't have enough capital to keep going at Kai Cenat, and then usually that what happens, they'll end up dropping it because it's just like, I can't afford to pay all these lawyer fees and the judge day and going back and forth, and it sucks. But that's one way Kai Cenat and them could get out of it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.